If you want to actually use AI for a side hustle, but you have no idea what people will actually pay for, then start here. In this video, I'm going to teach you how to find a real problem or a pain point, turn it into a simple AI assisted service, and find your first customers without needing to actually become an AI expert. Watch this video until the end and you'll have a practical roadmap that you can actually start using this week. Now, before we get started, can I ask one small favor? If you like what I do here, can you please hit the subscribe button? That keeps me really energized to bring you more content. Thank you very much. Let's get into it. So let's begin with step number one, which is don't start with AI, start with a simple problem. Now, the first thing I want you to understand is this. You don't want to start with AI. You want to go out there and start with a pain point or a simple problem. Now, this is probably one of the biggest mistakes you can actually make when you're actually thinking about starting a side hustle using AI. You probably open up ChatGPT or Gemini or any other AI engine, experiment with some prompts, maybe generate some images and create a few social media posts. And then you're asking yourself this question, okay, how do I actually make money from this? Instead, I want you to reverse the process. Start by just asking yourself, what can I help someone do faster, better, or even more easily? For example, just imagine that you actually notice that local businesses are actually struggling to consistently create content for their social media channels. Now, you don't have to go out there and actually sell them AI. You could just offer them something much simpler. Something like, I'll create a month's worth of engaging social media content for your business. AI then becomes the tool behind the service that you are providing. That's a lot easier for a potential customer to understand. And this gives you a very simple formula that you can use, which is problem plus specific customer plus useful outcome or result equals potential side hustle. So for example, you could help local restaurants create social media content. You could help small businesses turn long videos into short form video content. You could even help coaches and consultants turn their ideas into polished newsletters. You could also help online web sellers actually improve their product descriptions. Now, you don't need to invent a completely new business model here. Just look for work that already actually exists and has demand, and just find a way to make the process more efficient. So let's now move on to step number two, which is to choose one AI assisted service. Now let's make this a bit more practical. There are several different directions that you could explore here. Number one is AI assisted content writing. Now you could actually help businesses create blog outlines or newsletters or product descriptions, or even social media posts and content, or email drafts or email newsletters, or just other types of written content. Now, ChatGPT and Gemini can actually help you brainstorm, they can help you draft, rewrite, and organize and refine the content. But here's something very important. Don't just simply copy whatever AI actually gives you. Your value actually comes from understanding the customer's real business, checking the information and the details for accuracy, improving the writing with your own insights, and making the final result much more useful for the audience of the business that you're actually working with. Number two is social media content packages. Now you could actually just offer something very simple like, I'll create 12 ready to publish social media posts for your business. There's a simple example that you could actually use. Now you could just use AI to brainstorm the ideas and draft the captions, then just use a very simple designing tool like Canva, which is basically an online designing platform, to actually create these visuals and graphics with their ready-made templates. Now the advantage is that instead of starting every single post from scratch, you can just build a very simple and repeatable process. Now, number three is short form video repurposing. Now, just imagine a business owner has a 30-minute podcast, or even an interview or a webinar or some educational video, which is 30 minutes or more. You could just help them turn that long piece of content into short several clips, captions, titles, hooks, and social posts for their different social media channels. Now, AI can help you with the initial organization and content ideas, while you just make the final editorial decisions. Number four is AI assisted research and admin work. Now, businesses often have plenty of repetitive informational tasks that you can probably help them with. Now, you could just help organize information and details, or just summarize different documents for them, or maybe just prepare research notes, clean up information, or maybe just draft internal documents, Or you could even do something like create standard operating procedures for them to help their business run more efficiently. The key here is that you actually choose tasks where you can actually safely review the output rather than blindingly trusting the AI. Now, number 5 is AI assisted visual content. Now, if you're feeling fairly comfortable with design, you can actually use different AI tools to speed up image and creative production. For example, Adobe Firefly provides generative creative tools for things such as images, video, audio, and even design. But again, you're not really selling AI generated images. You're selling a useful result or a useful outcome. So remember, you're not selling AI here. You're actually selling some kind of outcome or a result. Maybe that's promotional graphics for a business. Maybe it's social media visuals. Maybe it's even creative concepts for a campaign that they're running. The tool is secondary. The outcome or the result is what really matters. Let's now move on to step number 3, which is to actually turn your skill into a simple offer. Now, once you've actually chosen a direction to go in, you now need to turn that simple skill into a simple offer that can generate you some income. So let's use social media as an example for this. Now, you don't want to create a complicated business with 10 different packages. You just want to start with one clear offer. So for example, this could be, I create 12 ready to publish social media posts for small businesses each month. So there's a simple example that you can actually use for yourself. Now you want to define exactly what that actually includes. Maybe it's 12 captions, 12 graphics, a content calendar, 1 round of revisions, and delivery in a format the customer can easily use. So there's an example of what it could actually be. So do you notice what is actually happening here? You're no longer saying, I know how to use ChatGPT or AI. You're actually saying, I can give you a month's worth of content. That's much more valuable. And you can actually apply this to almost anything that you do. Instead of, I use AI for writing, you could actually say, I'll turn your rough ideas into 4 polished weekly newsletters. Instead of saying, I create AI images, you could actually say, I'll create a set of promotional graphics for your next campaign. Instead of, I know AI automation, you could say, I'll help you identify repetitive admin tasks and create a simple workflow to reduce manual work. Now, the more specific the outcome and the result that you provide, the easier it is for someone to actually understand what they're actually buying from you. So let's now move on to step number 4, which is to actually build a repeatable AI workflow. Now let's now talk about something that can actually make your side hustle much more efficient, which is your AI workflow. This is where AI actually becomes genuinely useful. So let's go back to our social media example. So number 1 is to collect information from the client, their website, their services, their target customer, their tone of voice, their offers, their frequently asked questions, and their existing content. So number 2 is to use AI to actually organize the information and generate initial ideas. Number 3 is to review those ideas. Now you want to remove generic or inaccurate suggestions and just add your own judgment. Number 4 is to actually create the actual posts and content. Now you might use ChatGPT or Gemini for the writing and the brainstorming, Canva for the visual content, and whatever scheduling or appointment project management tools like Calendly to actually fit your workflow. Number 5 is to actually review everything before actually delivering it to any clients that you're working with. And the last step is extremely important. AI can actually produce confident sounding mistakes. So your process shouldn't be AI straight to customer. It should be customer information to AI assisted draft to human review to improved final product and then deliver it to the customer. That's the difference between simply generating some content with AI and actually providing a very professional service. Let's now move on to step number 5, which is to create a small portfolio. Now you might be thinking, but what if I don't have any clients yet? And that's okay. You want to just create some examples. Now let's just say you want to work with restaurants or cafes. Just go and choose a fictional restaurant or just clearly label your work as a sample. Then just create 3 example social media posts, create a few graphics and visuals, and create a sample content calendar. Now all you need to do is put them all together into a simple portfolio. You don't need 20 projects here. You just need enough examples to actually demonstrate to business clients that you work with, this is what I can actually produce. and make your examples very specific and make them very clear and very high quality. Now, don't create graphic posts about business success. Create something that actually looks like a real deliverable for the type of customer that you're actually targeting to actually work with. That makes it a lot easier for someone to actually imagine hiring you. Let's now move on to step number 6, which is to find your first customers. Now comes the part that many people actually avoid, finding your first customers. Now you can actually use freelance marketplaces such as Upwork at upwork.com to look for opportunities in areas like writing, design or marketing or emails and other freelance services. But don't just rely exclusively on marketplaces. You can also identify businesses that already have problems that you're actually trying to solve. For example, if you're offering social media content, you want to look for businesses with inconsistent posting or outdated visuals and graphics, or just weak captions or lots of useful information on their website that they're not turning it into content. Then you want to just send them a short and personalized message. Now you don't want to write, "Hello, I am an AI expert and I can revolutionize your business." That's far too vague. Instead, you could say something like, "I noticed you've got some really useful information on your website, but you're not posting consistently. I put together a couple of sample post ideas based on your existing content. If you'd like, I can create a full monthly content package for you." Now you're actually demonstrating that you understand their situation. That's actually much stronger than simply telling them that you know about AI. Let's now move on to step number 7, which is to start small and improve from your first project. Now, when you get your first project, don't worry about trying to build a big business straight away. Your first goal is to just prove that someone will actually pay for the service and that you can actually deliver it really well. So just start with a very manageable project. Now, once you complete that, just ask yourself the following 6 questions. Number 1 is what took the most time? Number 2 is what could I standardize? Number 3 is where did AI help? Number 4 is where did AI produce poor results? Number 5 is what information did the customer need to actually provide? And number 6 is what part of the service did the customer value the most? Then just go out there and improve the workflow. So maybe you actually discover that generating captions is quite easy, but collecting the client's brand information takes quite a lot of time. So you can actually create a very simple client questionnaire. Maybe you discover that design takes too long, so you can actually create reusable templates for this. Maybe you find out that customers don't actually care about 12 or 13 posts. They care about having content ready every week. That feedback helps you to actually improve the offer that you make. Let's now move on to step number 8, which is don't fall into the passive income with AI trap. Now, there's another very important point that I want you to understand. Don't fall into the passive income with AI trap. Now, you're going to see plenty of content suggesting that AI can actually generate effortless passive income. But you want to be careful with that idea. Now, AI can reduce the time required for certain tasks, but it does not remove the need to find customers, understand their problems, check your work, and even just communicate clearly and provide something that people actually really value. Now, if you just create 100 generic AI generated ebooks and just upload them somewhere on a platform like Gumroad or PayHip, that doesn't necessarily automatically create a successful AI business. If you generate thousands of generic images, that doesn't automatically create any kind of demand either. Now, the hard part is still understanding what people really want. That's where the research comes in. AI can actually make production much easier for you, but it doesn't magically actually create a market. You need to go out there and research and find an existing demand first. Let's now move on to step number 9, which is don't try to learn about every new AI tool. So you're going to see a lot of AI tools becoming available. You don't need to learn about all of these different AI tools. This is actually another very common mistake. So here's a scenario that a lot of people can probably relate to. You see a new AI tool every week. You actually sign up for it. You start experimenting with it. And before you know it, you're actually spending more time learning about AI tools and maybe spending more money than actually building your side hustle with AI. So that's something that a lot of people can probably relate to. So what you want to do is just start with one general purpose AI assistant. Then you just want to add tools and apps only when they actually solve a very specific problem within your workflow. So for example, ChatGPT can help with brainstorming, can help with writing, analysis, planning, and even working with different types of information. Canva, which is an online design platform, can help you create that visual content and use AI assisted designing features which are built into the platform. You've also got Adobe Firefly. This can help with generative creative work across areas such as images, videos, audio, and even design. And you've also got Upwork, which is a freelancing marketplace. And this is going to be a great place to look for those freelancing opportunities. But you don't necessarily need all of these tools. What you want to do is just pick the tools that fit the service that you are actually selling. Let's now move on to step number 10, which is to follow a simple 7-day starting plan. Now, if you're watching this and thinking to yourself, okay, but what do I actually do next? Here's a simple 7-day starting plan for you. So day number 1 is to write down 5 skills that you already have. So maybe you're good at writing, maybe you're organized, maybe you understand social media, maybe you're good at video editing, maybe you're actually good at research. Day number 2 is to actually choose one customer group. So you don't want to target everybody. You want to just choose something like coaches or local businesses or online sellers or maybe property professionals or even creators or just another group that you understand quite well. Day number 3 is to find one repetitive problem that they actually have. Day number 4 is to design one simple AI assisted service that actually solves it. Day number 5 is to create 2 or 3 portfolio examples. Day number 6 is to write a short personalized outreach message. And day number 7 is to actually contact potential customers and start those conversations. And here's the important part. Don't spend the entire 7 days just researching AI tools. At some point, you actually have to offer something to someone. Let's now move on to step number 11, which is avoiding these 5 common mistakes. Now, before you actually finish, let's quickly go through some of the biggest mistakes that you want to avoid. Mistake number 1 is selling AI instead of selling an outcome or a result or a transformation. Your customer doesn't really care about what AI models or apps you've actually used. They care about the results and the outcomes that they are going to get. Mistake number 2 is publishing raw AI output. You want to always review important work for accuracy, quality, tone, originality, and suitability. Mistake number 3 is trying to serve everyone. A specific customer and a specific problem usually makes your offer much more easier to actually explain. Mistake number 4 is buying every new AI tool. You can actually start with a very small toolkit of maybe just 1 or 2 tools to get started. And mistake number 5 is waiting until you're an expert. You don't need to know everything about AI. You just need to know enough to actually solve one very useful problem very reliably. That's all you need to know. As long as you can solve one simple problem or a pain point with AI, and then you just improve as you go along and you're good to go. Wow, that's it for this video. Now, if you're ready to actually stop spinning your wheels and start building your own online business and creating new income streams, take the next step now. Click the link below in the description or in the top pinned comment where you can actually find some free guides and some free resources to help you get started right away with building your new digital business and new income. These free resources will actually teach you step by step how to actually set up and create your own digital business and new online income streams as well. So know these free resources will be very helpful for you. So don't wait, take action today. You can actually go and click the link below in the description and the pinned comment and start your journey right now. And thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to like and subscribe to the channel for new videos. It really does energize me to create more content for you. Thank you very much indeed. And if you want to connect on social, you can find me on LinkedIn and Instagram. The links are in the description box below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a wonderful day.